Okay. So base as a JavaScript means internally in Angular or React or the Vue.js. These are nothing but the technologies which are built by using JavaScript, because browser only understand the JavaScript. It doesn't know React. It doesn't know React or Angular or Vue.js. It understand only JavaScript. Correct. So all these technologies are built upon the JavaScript. By means, when we actually build the application Angular, React or Vue, it get all the code whatever we write gets converted into the JavaScript, because obviously web application we use on the browser, so browser understand only the JavaScript. So internally in every language, internally there is the JavaScript only. So even though we write code in the TypeScript, with React also we can write the TypeScript and with the JavaScript also. Angular is like React is also there. With React also with Angular we can either work with TypeScript or with the simple JavaScript also, or one more language is also there. With that also we can work. But when we compile, it ultimately get converted into the JavaScript. Okay. Now, so whatever the concept you know, or you might have already studied in JavaScript, like how do we declare variable, how do we write a function, right? If conditional programming, for loop, what is array, what is object, those things again same thing will be there in Angular, but we will be using TypeScript. So now there will be a question like, do we have to learn the TypeScript separately? No, because very limited things we use in TypeScript, very limited things from the TypeScript we use, and every day we use them. So we don't have to externally prepare and externally give the time to learn for the TypeScript. Whatever the things you know in JavaScript, same like that we have, because TypeScript is a language which is built upon a JavaScript only. If you simply Google it, so you will find the definition like TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript. TypeScript supports some of the OOPS concept. Okay. Again, TypeScript is created by Microsoft. Just like React has React is the language which is created by Facebook. So TypeScript is a language which was created by Microsoft guys. Okay. Now coming back to Angular, like let's say you need to install the Angular. So what things you need? So first is Node.js. Now, Node.js is a library or a what we can say. First, NPM, I will explain like what is NPM. So you can also simply search NPM, and whatever the current first website you get, you can just open it. So NPM is a library package manager. Now it is not related to Angular or React or Vue.js or .NET or Java. All the technologies, whatever the programming technologies are there, let's say you created some code which you think is reusable or anyone can use it. Okay, let's assume you created any code which you think that this code can be reusable by any technology, right? So you create a, I mean, not by the any technology. Let's say you created a code in Angular. So you create a library of that and you host that library on the NPM. Okay. And then by using that library, other Angular developer can use your library into their project. So just like that, Angular developer also can host their library, .NET, Java, SharePoint, jQuery, React, Vue.js. So this is a common platform where all the different technology people will put up their code into a bundle, and that library, bundle or library, they will host it on the NPM, and other developers can use that library in their project. Okay. Now, I was talking about Node.js. So Node.js is a software which allows us to communicate with the NPM from command prompt. Okay. So we all know command prompt. What is command prompt? Just we simply open the command prompt. This is nothing but command prompt. So from our system, we can communicate with the Node.js server. Means this NPM server. Now to install some packages, I told you like other developers will be creating some libraries and they will host it on the NPM. But if you want to use it, you can install that package either by using their CDN. Some libraries have the CDN, but others you have to install by installation only. Okay. So for that, Node.js is a software which is a basic necessity for Angular, React, or Vue.js or any front-end side libraries. Okay. So Node.js is required for Angular or React or Vue, or let's say Node.js backend language is also there, or React Native, any framework. whatever the client side frameworks are there, any framework you say to work with all this kind of applications or all these kind of technologies, you basically only one software is needed, that is Node.js. Okay. So if you go to the main site, you just need to, it's just a normal setup. So if you see here, if we go to the download site, if you go to the main site, it will say like 21.1, this is LTS. And in the below, it has written like recommended for most user. And the latest version they have is 21.7. Okay, this is current version, but we don't have to install the current version. We have to go with the recommended. Means this is the stable version they have. Node.js is also a company which is creating this tool, right? They are constantly working on their tool. So whatever the latest feature they will put it in the latest version. Once this version is stable, they will move it to the latest stable version. LTS means latest stable version. So you just have to click on it, then your setup will get downloaded. Okay, it is around 25 MB. Then this is just an ordinary software, just like you keep on going on next, and you will install that. Okay. Now, so I'm not just going to cover this setup. Those who will face the issue, I will help you with help with them. But for now, I'm not just going to cover that. Once you do the npm, once you do the installation of Node.js, you can check like if Node.js is installed or not. So what you need to do, you just need to open a command prompt. Just open the command prompt and write npm -v, npm space -v. So this command will fire, or this command will execute properly if you have Node.js properly installed in your system. If in your system you don't have the Node.js, this won't work. It won't recognize what is npm. Okay. So -v means we are checking the version of the node. So currently in my system, this is 10.2.3. You might have something else, but doesn't matter. Okay. Now, so first, like you need to install the Node.js. Let me just add it over here. This is the site. So first step is I install Node.js. Okay. After that, we have to go to the Angular site. So let's go to Angular site. Now Angular has two sites. First is angular.io. I will open this. Another is angular.dev. So this is what we have got in Angular 17. Okay. Now what here you can choose the old version also, but this is just a playground what Angular team has brought to us. So but main site is angular.io. Okay. Now if I click on try Angular, it will go over here somewhere. Let's go to community. Sorry, docs. Okay. So here, if you expand this getting started, and you will find an option setup. So now after installation of Node.js, what you need, VS Code you might have already installed because you might have learned HTML, CSS or JavaScript. So you already have to install the VS Code. Now, here also it has said, first you need to install the Node.js. Okay, this is the setup site. This will also, I will provide it over here. After the installation of Node.js, what we need to do, we need to install the CLI, Angular CLI. So CLI means command line interface. The long form of CLI is command line interface. Okay, command line interface. This is a library which you have to install. Now this Angular CLI, this is also provided in the NPM. This is also nothing but a library which is created by Angular team. See, let's see the latest version. So latest version is around 17.0.3 because that is the latest version Angular team has. Okay, so this is just a library which is created. Just I told you like NPM is a place where all the developer will create their library and put it over here so that other developers can use it. So just like that, Angular has also created this library and hosted it on the NPM. Now we are able to download it and install it in our system, right? Now I told you like to download it, you need the Node.js package manager. That's because you can see the command npm. npm means node package manager. If you don't install the Node.js now, it won't understand what is npm, correct? So now you just need to copy this same command. You can see npm I stand for install, just a shortcut, and your package name. So now once you run this in your command prompt, this will install the latest version, whatever it has. So currently 17.3. So same steps are over here. See, same command, npm install. Instead of I, it has written the complete sentence. So you need to copy this, open a command prompt and paste it and press the enter. Now I already have it, so I'm not going to do it again. So once you press enter, what it is going to do? It is going to install Angular CLI package. Means nothing but it is installing Angular in your system. If you say broadly, or if someone asks you like, how do we install the Angular? So we don't install Angular, we install the Angular CLI. Because of that Angular CLI, then we can able to create the project. Okay. Because once you install the Angular CLI, then only Angular command will work. So Angular command start with ng. So if you don't install the Angular CLI, ng won't be recognized. It won't understand what is ng. Right? So next step, you need to open command prompt and install this command. Okay. This is the second step. Now coming back to our code. Now basic installation is done. Once you run this now, then you need to check, just like we have checked like npm is installed. Just like that, if you need to check like Angular CLI successfully got installed or not. So what you need to do, ng-v. So this will tell us like what is the Angular version we have and not. So you can see the current version I have is 17.1. But if you install right now, so you will get 17.3 something, because that is what in the last month of the current month also, I think after 17.1, they have released another version that is 17.3. Okay. Then node version and everything, TypeScript detail, everything, it will, TypeScript it is not saying right now, but earlier it used to show the TypeScript version also. Right. So now to check the version like Angular is installed or not, you simply have to type ng-v. Right. Now, let's close it. Now let's say I want to create a project. Okay. One more thing, in your VS Code, sometimes ng command won't work. So you just have to copy this and put it into your PowerShell. So how do we, you just need to copy this and run this command into PowerShell. So just write PowerShell, just like an alternate command prompt you will get. And in that PowerShell command prompt, this is PowerShell. You need to run the second command so that inside VS Code, you will be able to use the Angular CLI command. So you just need to paste this and press enter. Okay. Now how we create the project. So now I will be first, now to create the project, there are two ways. First, directly from the VS Code also, or you can use the command prompt also. First, I will explain from the command prompt. So let's say where you need to keep the project. So Angular is a framework. So it's when you create a project, so it has a such certain bunch of files. Now let me go to D. Let me just create a folder. Angular Academy. Now inside this Angular Academy, I need to open a command prompt on this particular folder. So if you have the latest version, if you right click, you will get a command open in terminal. Okay. So here you can see my command prompt got open, but by default it is Windows PowerShell. So on that particular folder, I got it. Either you can do this, or here in the address bar also, you can just simply type cmd and press enter. This will also open your command prompt in that particular folder. You can see D Angular Academy. In the specific folder, my command prompt got open. Right. Now, to create a new project, we have to make use of the Angular CLI command. So why do we need the Angular CLI? Because Angular CLI is a tool where so many commands are there. If you use that command, you don't have to manually create all those files. Angular CLI will create that for you. So to create new project, we have the command that is ng new and then your project name. Now I'm not going to focus on the Angular 17 now, but since in my machine Angular 17 is there, so it will suggest some new things. Okay, those obviously everyone is going to install right now, so they will also face they will also see those the changes I am seeing. Okay, so ng new, after new you need to specify the project name. Ng space new, then you need to specify the project name. Let's say my project name is employee ERP. This is the project name I am giving. After that, you need to press enter. Ng space new, then your project name. Project name can be anything. It is your name, whatever you are giving. Then you can see it is asking one question, like which CSS framework you need. Either you need CSS, SAS, LESS, whatever. So we are simply going with CSS. So either you can choose by selecting this by down arrow key. and press enter. After that, it is asking a question like, do you need a server-side rendering or not? So obviously we don't need the server-side rendering. We are just trying to create a simple project. I will explain again when it comes to this server-side rendering, what is server-side rendering and everything. So simply I'm saying no and enter. So this is creating your Angular project. So you can see project got created, but now something process is going on. It is saying installing packages. Now, if you see the folder, see inside this certain files are also there. Means our basic project is created, but still that process is going on. So now if you see what it is doing, installing packages, and here you can see the word npm. Now what it is actually doing. So project is already created, but if we stop this process now, project will not run, because whether you say Angular, React, or Vue, you need node module folder in your project. Then only you can run those projects. So now what this process is actually doing. So inside this project, we have this package.json. Now let me open this particular folder in my VS Code. Right click on VS Code, new window, file, open folder, and you need to particularly open that folder. Okay, employer ERP is my project name. So you need to select this. Okay, now, so just pay attention for the first file, package.json. So if you see package.json, this is the JSON file. So here you can see we have some packages. Now you can see node module folder came here. Let's see the command prompt. See, it is still installing, but we got the folder. Now this folder we have got because of this process. Okay, now, so here you can see we have got some command in the script section. Then dependencies and dev dependencies are two things are there. Now in each section, you can see some name is there and some version is also there. See, name, version, RxJS name and its version. Just like that, Angular CLI and its version, Karma version. So these are nothing but the packages or the library name we have in NPM, right? So initially I told you like NPM is a library. Here we have so many libraries and that we install. So if I search Angular/common, so you can see I have it. This is also maintained by Angular. Obviously, Angular libraries are already mentioned by the Angular only. See, Google sign is there and Angular sign is there. Collaborators means who has created this library. Okay, so this library is also present. Latest version is 17.3.0. But since in my machine I had 17.1, so that's why it has installed it has created the 17.1.0 project, Angular project. Let's select RxJS. Let's try to search this also. This will also be present. See, this is also here. So whatever the libraries name you can see over here, all are present in the NPM. So how now, what are the libraries? See, that process was going on. See, it is still going on, installing packages. So what it is doing, it is actually reading the package and its version from this file, and it is downloading from NPM. See the process. When this process is going on, what this process is, it is reading the package.json of your Angular project. It is reading package by package, and it is installing that particular version from NPM to your node module folder inside over here. So whatever the package name you can see over here, now all those folder are being downloaded in this node module folder. So this is that process going on. Why it is still stuck? Yeah, it was waiting for me. Okay, so what are the libraries we got in node module? So node module is nothing but whatever the libraries or the packages we had said over here. These are the default packages what we get when create the Angular. Based on our use or based on our requirement, we keep on adding the new libraries also, like RxJS, Bootstrap, PrimeNG, AGGrid, whatever libraries you need, Material. Okay, whatever the external libraries you need, you will keep on adding over here. Okay, again, once we are on the particular level where you are all settled or where you are all compatible with Angular, then I will explain what is the difference between dependencies and dev dependencies. This is also an interview question. in dependencies also you can see packages are there, and here also some packages are there, but there is a difference why it is separate. Okay, so once we start the interview process, then I will be covering this. Now, so when we create the basic Angular project, these are the basic libraries we get in the Angular project. So our first file here, since I told you like Angular is a project. So when we create the project, project will contain so many files. Okay. So today I'm just going to explain some of the files which are important to move forward. Okay. Without those knowledge, we cannot move forward. So first file is package.json. So what is the purpose of package.json? So package.json will contain all the packages or the libraries information which you need in your Angular project. In simple word, package.json will contain all the entries of the packages which you are going to use in your Angular project. Okay. By default, we get this. If we need to install Bootstrap, we add the Bootstrap over here along with the version. If you need to use PrimeNG, you need PrimeNG. If you need the material, you can add material. Okay. So package.json is what? It contains package informations or package list you need in your project. Okay. So this is the first file we should know of, package.json. Okay. Now, let me close it. After package.json, we have angular.json. Now, you might have heard about at least Java, .NET, SharePoint, Python. These are nothing but proper technologies, correct? Backend technologies, we can say. So when we say .NET or Java, so it contains project. When we say HTML, do we say like it HTML, it will have a project or something? No, HTML, in HTML, we just create a bunch of HTML file. It doesn't have any project like of structure. But when we say Angular, React, .NET, Java, we say a project. So when we say project, every project will have some architecture or configuration file or setting file, right? That will hold information of all my project. So in Angular scenario, angular.json is our architecture file, means our project related configuration file. Let's just write that. It contains, again, it's a JSON file only. So it is, I said like it will contain the setting or what do we say, uh, architecture of my Angular project. So basically it is the JSON file. So it will have key value pair data. Okay. So it contains setup information of Angular project. Just a normal wording I'm using. But when we start the interview process, now proper definition will be provided. Okay. In that tool, you already might be familiar with many project interview question. Those questions we will be again explaining. Okay. But just for basic understanding, it will contain all the setting of my Angular project, or let's say settings. Clear? So package.json is a file where all my packages entries, whatever the packages which I'm going to use in my Angular project, all will be listed into package.json. Angular.json is a configuration file or the setting file for my whole Angular project. So here you can see so many settings are there, like what is the asset folder, what are the external styles I'm going to use, script if I'm going to use, right? Then index.html, browser, main.ts, polyfill.cs, minimum build size, maximum build size, component related size, what maximum line of code I could have, development related, then when we compile application, how do we run, on which port I need to run. So many testing related, again, so many configuration files are here. Okay. Now, so outside for now, just package.json and angular.json files are important. Others are you can ignore. Later we will cover. But for now, package.json and angular.json, these are the two outmode file we have to care about. Now, as I told like in the previously, Angular is a single page application. So now everyone know like what is single page application means. Only one HTML page will be there, and inside that HTML page, my whole application will render. That is a simple funda we have when we talk about single page application. Only a single page will be there. Physical HTML page will be there. Inside that single physical HTML page, one div will be there. And inside that div, our whole application will render. Okay. Now, so when we say single page application, so that single page application is inside SRC folder and this index.html. This is that HTML, single HTML page, what we talk about, like this is a single HTML, single page application. So this is that single page application, and inside that body, this is the element where our whole application is going to render. Now, I told you like this is an Angular is a project. Now, how does Angular know that this is that a single HTML page? Now, coming back to angular.json. So I told you like angular.json is my architectural file or a setting file. So here it is mentioned over here at line number 17. Here you can see src index.html. So in some project, those are the working guys, they might have seen some won't keep the single page application as index. They can name main.html, some another name they will give. But that name should be present over here because from here, Angular will understand what is my single page application, which is the page what I'm targeting. So here we link that page. That's why angular.json we call as a setting page. So from here, everything is linked. Okay. So index.html. Now, after that, you can see some browser is there. And here we have another file that is source, that is under source file and main.ts. Main.ts. Now here you can see .ts. .ts is just, here you can see June.js. .js, an extension for JavaScript file. Just like that, if you have a TypeScript file, so extension will be .ts. Okay. So now what is main.ts? Now we are moving inside the SRC folder. Outside, we just have two important files, package.json and the angular.json. After that, we move inside the SRC folder. SRC folder is okay. Now, here in SRC folder, we have seen index.html. Index.html is, let me just write it. Our single page. Okay, whatever we talk about single page application. So this is our single page application. Now, after index.html, we have main.ts. So as we say, Angular is a project. When we say Angular, we create a project. But when we run the project or when we open the Angular application on the browser, at least some file will be there now, which will start by default. Okay, we will at least a starting point will be there. You might know C# or C++, void main method was there. Whenever any project got run, one file will be there, which will execute first. So that is main.ts. So main.ts is our starting point of our Angular application. From here, our application will run main.ts, which is also called as an entry point of our Angular application. Okay. When application start, the first file to execute is main.ts. Clear? So inside SRC folder, two files are important. HTML file, we don't touch this index file also. Okay. We don't touch. It is just to serve the purpose of our single page application. We don't touch any this file. Then main.ts. We normally don't touch this also. Okay. When we have to when we try to create Angular elements and some things are there, then only we touch this file. Otherwise, for a normal project, we don't touch this. Okay, this is just for a project running purpose, files are there, and for the interview purpose. That's it. Then you can see one style.css is there. Now this is a global file. Let's say you want to create a class, and that class you are going to use over multiple pages. So that class you can create over here. Okay, this is a global CSS. So remember, while starting the project, it has asked our question like which framework you need. We said CSS, that's why it has created CSS file. If we have said SAS, so it would have created SCSS file. Okay, so style.css, a file where we can create global classes, CSS classes. Okay, so these are the outside files which are important. Now, while creating project, we didn't specify like standalone false. So we have got the Angular 17 project by default. So those who know, like those who already know like Angular, other Angular version, so they might be know, like we don't have app module over here. That's because while creating project, we said just ng new Angular, ng new and the project name. So this command will create latest Angular version project. Means you won't get app module and all the components are by default standalone component. We will come to that. But if you need to create the another project, let's create another projects also. I will skip for now. Okay. So this is Angular 17 project. Now in the same folder, now I am in the folder of Angular Academy. I want to create the older version project, but with Angular 17. So what I will do, ng new, let's say employee ERP, school ERP project we will give. After this, you need to provide hyphen stand alone and say false. Okay. So this is the command to create a project with an old Angular way. Okay. ng new project name, new version project you will get. But if you have Angular 17, but still you need to see or understand the things in Angular, older Angular version also. So with Angular 17 also, you can create older versions in older syntax or older project format by using ng new and standalone false. Older format project you will get. Okay. So let's enter. We are again trying to create a new project in the same Angular Academy folder. Again, the first question it has asked like which CSS framework you need. Enter and no. I will just stop this process now. Let's try to open this project also. Let's go back, school ERP, copy, new VS Code. Folder, open folder, and the path we have copied and enter. So in SRC folder, now you can see we have got app module. So this is the older version. Okay. So now throughout the session, what I will be doing, the two projects we have created. So whatever the topics basic topics we have to cover, I will take simultaneously, like what was in the older version and what got changed in the new version. Topic implementation is same. Topic implementation is not changed. Ng if, ng for, ng class, ng style. Topic implementation is same, right? But imports are changed now. Like where we used to, like if we have to use ng, if we don't have to install, we don't have to import anything. But with latest version, you need to import common module. So like those changes we will be discussing so that you will be aware with the older version also and the newer version also. Because when you are appearing for the interview, now interview questions are dramatically changed. Everyone is focusing on Angular 17 also, though their project is with Angular 12 or 14 or something, anything. But still they will ask you like what is new things we have in Angular 17. So you should be aware about what was there in Angular old version and what is there in Angular new version. Okay. Now let's go back over here. Now inside app folder, we had covered the SRC folder. Inside SRC folder, index.html and main.ts and style.css. Only 3 files are there. Now asset folder is just to keep our images and everything. Now app folder. App folder is our actually coding area. This is inside this folder, we do all our code. App folder. Now this is a employee project. Okay. Let me just open side by side. And school ERP also. So now this is older version and this is newer version. So here also you can see app folder is there. And here also you can see app folder is there. Again, let me compare. Here also we had got package.json. Here also it was there. Angular.json here is also there. Here is also there. Right? In SRC folder, here also index.html is there. Main.ts style, index, main, same files are there. Files are not going to change. Same structure is there. Just one difference is there. In newer version, we have got appconfig.ts, and in older version, we have got appmodule.ts. This is the older version and this is the new. Okay, so the app module file got replaced by appconfig. This is not a replacement, but just for basic understanding, we can say app module file got replaced by appconfig.json. This is just a configuration file. It's not a module. Okay, but just for understanding, for now, we will consider like app module file, which was there in older version, got converted with appconfig.ts. After that, you can see here we have got app routing module.ts, and here we have got app route.ts. So this was a module file. You can see app routing. App routes is here, some spelling changes, the routes, and here we have routing. But both of this file will serve the same purpose. We will come to that. After that, 4 files are there. App component.cs, app component.html, app component.spec.ts, and app component.ts. Same 4 files are here also. So this is component. Okay. So what is component? We will talk about tomorrow. But for now, we will first try to run the project. Now to run the project, whether it is older Angular version or the newer, running is same. Now, how do we run the project? So this is the project which we have opened, that is employee ERP. Now in the VS Code, you can either open terminal from here. See at the top menu also we have got terminal. It will open this command prompt. Or at the bottom also you can see here also some icons are there. Anywhere you can click, you will get the same pop-up. So here you can see this is just a command prompt terminal inside VS Code. Okay. Now here I have to run the Angular project. So I told you like Angular is a project. It's not an HTML file. We cannot directly double click or open with a browser. We cannot do that. It's a project. So we have to run it or compile it. Now some new words you will be hearing like project running, compiling. These things were not there when we learn JavaScript or HTML. Compilation. Okay. So these are the new things which you will hear when we start the Angular. So now I need to run the Angular project. So ng serve. So this is a command to run the Angular project. ng space serve. So now in Angular, all the command will start with ng. ng stands for that Angular CLI, the first package we installed after Node.js, Angular CLI. That's because only we are able to run all the command by using ng. Press enter. So now what this will do, it will compile Angular project and it will run the project on by default 4200 project. Just like when you learn the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, you might have used the Go live server. This is just like that, but it is compiling the project and by default, the project will run on localhost 4200. Here you can see it is saying you can access the page, you can access it on localhost 4200. So let's go to Chrome and let's type localhost 4200. So now if I enter, we are getting something. So by default, when you create the project and you run, you will get this UI. Now from where this UI is coming? So this is coming from app component. See, from here it is coming. Now you won't understand. Let me just remove everything. Hello, Angular, I am simply typing. Now I just have to save it. Once I save, you can see it again compiled. See, you are able to see that. Okay. So by default, when we create the Angular project, how Angular knows like this HTML page. Now you might have those who are saying Angular for the first time. While explaining, I told you like Angular is a single page application. Only one HTML file will be there. But here is another HTML file. Here is also index.html. So this HTML file is getting loaded inside this app root. Okay. We are not by looking at the browser, you might be able to say like hello Angular is coming directly. Like this HTML page, we are this app component.html page, we are directly rendering. But no, this HTML page is rendering inside the body, inside this app root selector. Okay. We will come to this, like what is this app root, what is its purpose? We will come to that. But for now, component. Now, just to give an overview on component, like those who are completely new, component is nothing like a HTML page. Okay. by far now, you know, like how do we create multiple pages. So just like that, consider, let's say I explain you or I ask you to create a new HTML page. So what you will do in Angular, you will create a new component. So normal HTML page is equivalent to component in Angular. Okay. So for now, just consider this. Once you, let's say 4 to 5 sessions are there, then you will understand component, what is component. Tomorrow only you will see like what is component. Again, we will discuss, but at least you will need 5 to 6 sessions to actually understand what is component. Okay. So that's it for now. So today we have seen like how do we install Node.js, what is project structure, what are the files we have, important files only. We haven't discussed remaining files. We will discuss it soon, like TypeScript and tsconfig and everything, git ignore or editor config. Okay, we will discuss it soon. But for now, the basic files only we have discussed. Same Angular, this older version also you will run the same way. Okay, nothing new way is there.